Why do cardiologists keep their LDL levels so low? Eugene Brownworth, the father of modern American cardiology, said that LDL, low-density lipoprotein, bad cholesterol, levels above 50 are toxic. Professor Cheng Chen-en of Taipei Veterans General Hospital recently shared this in a lecture at the Taiwan Heart Association. Professor Cheng looked around the audience and continued, "Do you know what my LDL is?" He paused, then added, 25. "Mine is 48. The head of the audience chimed in. Professor Cheng also mentioned that Professor A from Central Taiwan also had an LDL of 25. And Professor B from Southern Taiwan had 33, calling them the Three Musketeers of cardiology. Such low LDL levels cannot be achieved through diet and exercise alone. Oral or injectable medications are necessary. The average person's LDL is around 100 to 130, and diet and exercise combined only lower it by an average of 8%. Why do cardiologists keep their LDL levels so low? Thomas Sydenham, a 17th century English medical pioneer, famously said, "A man is as old as his arteries." In other words, to slow down aging, one must start by slowing down the aging of the arteries. The walls of blood vessels are like tree rings, gradually thickening and hardening day by day, year by year. Starting in their teens, they gradually grow into the size of a tree. Some people experience this process faster, some slower. Over 20 years ago, scientists discovered that the rate at which these tree rings thicken largely depends on the level of LDL in the blood. A 1998 study compared numerous studies on LDL levels in the blood with the rate of arteriosclerosis. Even for laypeople, it was easy to see a very clear phenomenon in the charts of this study. The lower the LDL, the slower the rate of arteriosclerosis, showing a linear correlation. On average, when LDL dropped to 70 to 80, the rate of arterial thickening stopped. Further reductions, including the Pacman-Amy study presented at the American College of Cardiology, ACC, annual meeting in April 2022, have confirmed that atherosclerosis can not only be reversed but also become more stable. Lowering LDL levels not only affects the numerical value but, more importantly, slows down the rate of arteriosclerosis and increases the stability of atherosclerotic plaques on the blood vessel walls. The 2019 European Society of Cardiology guidelines for lipid therapy recommend that everyone's LDL should be less than 116. For individuals with pre-existing heart disease, stroke, severe kidney disease, peripheral vascular disease, diabetes with organ damage, or a very high risk of death from cardiovascular disease within 10 years, greater than 10% LDL should be less than 55. For those with diabetes for more than 10 years plus other risk factors, moderate kidney disease, familial hypercholesterolemia, or a high risk of death from cardiovascular disease within 10 years, greater than 5% LDL should be less than 70. For those with diabetes for less than 10 years and a moderate risk of death from cardiovascular disease within 1 to 5% within 10 years, LDL should be less than 100. The cardiology community used to say, "The lower the better," but after being challenged that zero LDL would be ideal, they changed their tune. Now the slogan is, "Lower is better."